Well, good evening, everybody, and welcome to Around the Layout. We have two guests with us tonight as we do our operating crew giveaway. Why don't we introduce them since you can already see them? We have Matt Freix.
How's it going?
And we have Rob Arsenault.
Good day, eh?
Good day, indeed. Well, we were just having a good time chatting before the show here and doing some diplomatic relations between Canada and the United States. I think we've got everything sorted out. So we're ready to do a giveaway. We're going to be giving away a locomotive donated by Matt tonight. We're going to also jump into the comments here for those that are joining us live here on Facebook and YouTube. Appreciate you stopping by. I'm going to let everybody know now. Make sure you stick around because after we give away the locomotive, we're also going to do another giveaway. And this one's open to everybody who's here tonight in the chat. So make sure you stick around till the end. But let's get it started. So, Matt, why don't you tell us about this locomotive that you have generously donated to give away to the operating crew? And I'm going to pull the picture of it up here so that you can tell us the story. Go ahead.
So it's a little bit painful. But as everyone that's familiar with my layout in the Gateway Western knows, the Santa Fe was a major part of their operation. And in my early, less refined acquisition period, before I'd really locked in on summer of 1995 as an era to model, time to model, I saw these beautiful Athearn Genesis GP39-2s, and I pulled the trigger on two of them, and they were two of, I think, the first pieces that Rob actually weathered for me. And anyone that's on my Facebook group probably knows I've got a good friend of mine named Eric Goodman, who loves to just stir the pot. And I'm being very polite when I say that. And I remember Rob weathered these things. They're just beautiful. I go and I post pictures, and Eric is the first person to comment. And he says, those were off the roster in 94, right? And I was like,
boy,
son of a, and so that was years ago. And like I said, there were two of them. They ended up going in a storage bin. And I said, oh, well, I'll keep them. What if I backdate to 93 or 91 or something? And as my collection has grown and grown, I thought to myself, this is just stupid. There's no reason I need both of these. I sold one of them on eBay, I think a year or two ago. And I feel like a gentleman in Florida got it. And I remember, and I don't know if I told you this, Rob, but the guy messaged me on eBay and he said, this is amazing. He said, I've always wanted an engine from Rob. And like, I can't believe this is on eBay. Like, he was just like, oh, he's geeked. But, come back to, what was it, a month or two ago, we started talking and I was like, well, hell, man, I've got this thing. It's kind of burning a hole in the box, why not see if we can, get it to somebody that can put it to good use. And Ray, I don't know if you saw, but there are a couple of people on my Facebook group that they do proto freelance stuff. And they both said if they win it, they're patching it and may get lost in the mail. I don't know.
Well, we'll have to. Yeah, it's quite a nice locomotive, and boy, Rob, we see your work. You share quite a bit of the work that you do on our Facebook page, and of course, we've had you on the show and we've talked about the process a bit. Excellent looking locomotive that you've done for Rob.
Yeah, and keep in mind too, I think we put this in the notes. This is it's a later Genesis run, so it's going to have the Tsunami 2 sound in it.
Right.
So I mean, it's a great locomotive. I've had numerous people reach out to me and say, "What are you doing, man? Like, why are you giving that away?"
Yeah, that's great. We're going to ask Rob a few questions in a minute. Let's say hello to the folks that are jumping in here. We got 24 watching us live tonight, so we'll say hello to everybody. John Garvin, good evening to you. Scott Ebersole, good to see you. And Joe from my neighborhood, good to see you, Joe. Mike Wheeler, good to see you. Trackside Mike, everybody knows Trackside Mike. He's keeping it on the tracks. Wrist last. Saying hello to you. We got Robert Thomas stopping by. MEC M211, good evening to you. And Illinois Midland Railroad, good to see you as well.
That's one of the people that threatened to patch.
Oh boy. So
Get him out of there.
See what happened. My world traveling executive producer is now back in Sydney, Australia. As I've said, he will never get 3 weeks off in a row ever again. So hope he enjoyed his trip around Europe. So
I've loved Paul's pictures.
Yeah. Paul.
Hey, Bruce.
Bruce Castle joining from Nova Scotia. Mike Neal. It's great to see you guys, and a lot of good chatter going on in the group. Michael Spohr, you're not in the running for the locomotive. You're here to watch the fun. We'll stay tuned. You might be able to win something later in the show. And Matt is threatening about the patch out as well. So you're gonna it may or may not be going to a good home tonight, where we'll definitely be finding out. So thanks.
Like I said,
I
can't control the Postal Service. It may get lost.
Right. That's right. So let's talk. Speaking of Postal Service, one of the conversations I want to have, because with Matt, you send locomotives up to Rob quite often. You become a frequent flyer with him. And I think maybe some of the hesitation, like we talked about in the podcast, is getting things shipped to Canada. And, I want to actually have Rob talk with Rob first, and then maybe Matt, you can add as well, the process of getting these locomotives to Canada and how simplified the process really is.
I think it's pretty straightforward. I mean, I can't speak for countries outside of the United States, but I know in the States there's a very small slip of paper. I mean, Matt's more qualified to talk about this than even I am, but from what I see on the outside of the box, a very small slip of paper. They just want you to indicate what's in the box, what you're shipping to me, why you're shipping it, which is a model train for repainting, and the value of the locomotive. It's pretty straightforward.
Yeah, as long as you tell the truth, right? We always want to make sure you put the right information on there.
Well, if you say it's a gift, or if you say it's worth $40, you're telling a falsehood to the king. That is a bad idea. That is an excellent way to get every box you ever ship to Canada from now on inspected and opened from the bottom.
Yeah.
And no poutine for you.
No poutine for you. Don't do that.
That's right. So Matt, I mean, you talked about this. I know you've sent quite a bit. How many locomotives do you think that Rob has weathered for you?
So, well, the funny thing is Rob, I want to say you've probably done around 10 locomotives for me, roughly. But what we've really been working on first is my fleet of cars. And I would say, Rob, would we be probably in the 70 to 75 range?
No, could be. Yeah, I was thinking 50, but yeah, it could be 70, 75. Yeah.
It's definitely been a lot, and we've kind of gotten down to I think a pretty good groove where I used to send massive boxes and just tell them work on them whenever you want, and I think now we're usually doing 3 to 4 cars at a time, and as I get a box back, I just kind of refill it and send it on his way, and just I let Rob do his thing. He kind of works me in between, when he's got a little extra time or something, unless I have something that I'm really passionate about, and he'll jump on it.
Excellent. Yes. But you guys established quite a relationship. And Matt, we talk about, and we've had this conversation between you on your podcast, and we talked with Rob about it as well, that, when you farm things out like this, it frees you up, and you got quite a project there behind you to work on.
Yeah, I think I can.
Just look at that thing.
Yeah.
Holy moly.
And that's just the one peninsula. There's another peninsula around the corner. But, it's exactly what you said, Ray, is, I'm really busy with work. I got a daughter with a horse. That's basically like a second full-time job. And outside of that, I'm just going to say this, and I know Rob would probably argue that I could learn, but man, I'm not a modeler by any stretch of the imagination. I'm not good at it. I don't enjoy it. I look at a model and like parts fall off of it. Like,
don't we all?
I can't take a tangent hopper out that like Rob sends me. I can't take it out of the packaging without like breaking something off of it, So it just makes sense, to farm the stuff out. I love doing bench work. I love woodworking. I like wiring, track laying, and I can work on that stuff, and I have a good time doing it. And, Rob takes care of the dirty work. No pun intended.
And I like to mix colors, so it works.
You do. And then, I put myself back up here just to show, if you see folks see above my shoulder, I have a ET44 AC locomotive from Scale Trains, and I got it. It was very exciting. Got it displayed here on the wall. Beautiful locomotive. You don't think you're the only one. If I can get it to held up in the camera. So far, here's my collection of parts that have fallen off of it from me manhandling the thing, and I don't know what they are. So I think I'm gonna have to send them to Rob to see if he recognizes them in the weathering process and tell me where they go back on. Because, but you're certainly not the only one. And the Scale Trains locomotives are really built well. I mean, I manhandled it a lot, and only 2 pieces fell off, which is actually really good.
Well, it's funny you say that, Ray, because I was in a group chat with a bunch of guys where we just talk about freight car models and stuff that we want to see built. And somebody asked, "Hey, does anyone have an Arrowhead 4600 covered hopper that they'd be willing to trade for a Genesis?" And I just chimed in and said, "Hey, well, what's just me asking what's the difference in the models?" And somebody came and said, "Blaine's model has 279 hand-applied detail parts."
plenty to knock off. That's for sure. Excellent. Well, I don't want to keep everybody too long here. Let's get to a giveaway here. So I'm going to put everybody on the smaller screen. We're going to bring up the wheel of names, and let's give away this beautiful locomotive that Matt's got here. So if everybody's ready, let's get the big old wheel a spin. We ready? Here we go.
Cool.
Let's do it.
Cool.
Oh, I got to click it over here. I'm clicking on the wrong screen. So this is why Ray doesn't do live. But here we go.
Do we get to buy a vowel?
No vowel. Let's see. Oh, thank goodness. John Garvin, congratulations.
Nice.
Awesome.
I saw that Mike Ostertag name is slowed down right at Mike Ostertag, and I might have blown on the wheel a little bit just to make sure that S-scale guy doesn't get an HO locomotive. So John Garvin, congratulations on winning this locomotive. We're going to get your information, and then we'll get this shipped out to you. This wasn't a guy that was going to patch it, was he, Matt?
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay, good. So hopefully it's going to a good home, John. Congratulations. So everybody, I told you we would give away something at the end of the show. So here's what you got to do. If you're listening right now, what you need to do is, let me tell you what we're going to give away. We're going to give away an Around the Layout t-shirt, and I'll have it shipped right to your house. What you need to do is simply put in the comments, #shirt. So that's the little number sign, if anybody doesn't know what a hashtag is. So #shirt in the comments. And then we're going to give it a few minutes. And then once we have that, we will draw a name and we'll give away an Around the Layout podcast t-shirt. So throw that right in the comments where you've been adding. And then we'll, as you're doing that, we're going to take a look at some of these other comments and see what you folks have to say here. So a minute, we'll scroll back through the comments. A lot of these broken dreams here of guys saying, like, Paul, he was going to modify it to a Riverbelt locomotive, so your Santa Fe locomotive won't be going to Sydney, Australia, and being modified. So he said he would use a small patch. Now he'll use no patch. So now we just get to sit here and shatter dreams of all these guys here. But Joe, absolutely super generous of you, Matt. Thank you for paying it forward and supporting the operating crew. And the operating crew really helps support the podcast. It's made it possible to do a lot of the extra things and swag giveaways. It's paying for extra storage so we can keep all of these stories out and available to everybody who listens and be able to go back through the archives and listen to these, listen to folks. So, Bob Thomas, evening greetings from Muskogee, Oklahoma. Hopefully it's starting to cool down there. It was pretty damn warm down there in that Dallas Fort Worth area for the National Train Show and the NMRA convention. And we like 10 o'clock at night, you'd be heading back and it was still 100 degrees out. It was unbelievably hot. So hopefully it's starting to cool off down there for you folks. Yeah, it was. Paul was willing to pay for the postage too. So that was a mighty kind of him, but maybe he'll win a t-shirt. He needs a couple more. So we'll see what happens. Trackside Mike chiming in, cool looking locomotive. So it's good to see. Definitely is. And John's going to really enjoy that. So again, folks, we're looking for those hashtag shirts. Looks like we're getting quite a few entries in here too. Hashtag BN is greater than ATSF will not win you a shirt, Michael Spohr. So yeah,
get him out of here.
That should be an automatic shirt.
So, Rob, can you make sure and sideline the box he sent you for another month or two?
Yep, we'll have to yeah. So just give me 1 second. We'll get this set up.
We'll mess with them, and instead of weathering something, we'll have you paint it ATSF yellow and send it back to him.
All right. I get out from underneath AC4 T400 mountain here.
There you go.
Boy.
So we got 22 entries into our drawing here. Let's do the thing and let StreamYard. Let's draw a winner for the shirt.
Nice.
Robert Thomas is going to be the winner of our shirt tonight. So Robert, congratulations on that. Let me get rid of that BNS and BN. He's got too much airtime with that comment. Robert Thomas, thank you very much for sticking around, and everybody else who stuck around to the end to watch Rob Arsenault and Matt Freix here. And as we give away this beautiful locomotive, John Garvin, congratulations. Rob, you were telling us in the pre-show you've been a pretty busy guy. Tell us what it's been like the last couple months for you.
Oh, where do you begin? Mostly AC 4400s. I've been looking forward to them until they showed up in the living room. Holy moly. But I'm getting there, just about done. I don't know where everybody is that wants medium weathering jobs. I just finished the most challenging weathering job of my career today. In fact, I got a UP toaster heading to New York on Monday.
Awesome.
So that will be online in the coming days. And some more CSX. Boy, those things have been really popular.
Yeah.
So tired locomotives.
Lots of toasters. Like busier than a Kohl's when it comes to selling toasters. So
it's been nuts.
Awesome. Yeah,
but in a good way.
Absolutely. So if you're looking to do what Matt Freix does and weather up your realism, Rob Arsenault is your guy. weathermytrains.com. Check him out. There's plenty of links available. Definitely go back and listen to Rob's podcast as well, the one he did with us. It was very interesting, and couple that with the scenic and weathering techniques book that you contributed to. I think it was an excellent conversation on color and paint, and it was certainly, you can learn a lot, and put that article along with it. You're going to be pretty thrilled at what you learned there. So Rob, thank you so very much for participating tonight.
My pleasure.
Matt, thank you very much for being so supportive of the operating crew.
Anytime.
A couple quick notes for everybody. Upcoming episodes, September 12th, this coming Tuesday, it'll be a What's Happening in Model Railroading episode with Tony Cook. And then on September 19th, Michael Gross will air that exciting interview that I did with Michael Gross. And then on September 26th, Mike Landis from the Main Track YouTube channel. So 3 great episodes coming up here. I hope everybody gets a chance to take a listen. Aroundthelayout.com is the website. Click on podcasts, and you'll see all of our past and future episodes. So Until next time, on behalf of Matt and Rob, everybody have a great night. Enjoy.
Not everybody.